what technology or application excites you most in this whole industry transformation, in this industry or beyond? Let's start with you, Josh, as a representative of our sponsor today.
I think it's two things that people need to be aware of. From a CO2 perspective, particularly, or from a sensor perspective, I think one of the things we're most excited about that you'll see developed and rolling out over the next decade is sensor on a chip. The idea of being able to bring the form factor of a sensor down, to put it on a microchip, to work accurately, repeatably, reliably over time. The ability to do that then continues to allow us to microsize devices, which I think is important. As long as that accuracy and reliability is there over time. But the concept of putting the sensor on a chip has been around for years, but it's really just starting to be sustainable. It's really starting to come to fruition in research and development. The other piece I'd add, Rob, is I think I am confident with the work that we do with research institutions. I'm confident that the work being done at the research level is one of the things that's going to continue to push not only digitization and technology forward, but this industry overall. The continued effort for advancement in those research institutions, their continued need for new, reliable, accurate IoT advanced devices. That's one of the things that continues to push both the advancement in technology as well as in the business spectrum and in the market. So I think folks need to understand that helping to educate those customers, provide them reliable information and content, as well as the devices, software that they need. I think those two factors are extremely important. I think it's something that every business owner, every business person needs to be mindful of to continue to support that and help those efforts move forward.
Great, thanks, Josh. That's a strong message there. David, we'll turn to you. What excites you the most?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of excitement, out there. If we think back, the name of our company, Computers Unlimited, and the name of our software, TIMS, those are really two pillar items that we see more and more value in every day. Computers are getting smaller; they're finding their ways onto every single device. You still have the need for software and integrating processes and information. So I think probably two that bubble to the top. One is because we are collecting so much data every single day, that is going to become a gold mine for what we call artificial intelligence, machine learning languages, applying that technology to that operational data that every single distributor can be capturing today. And the more data they are capturing, the more valuable those types of products become. And so now you go from, okay, here's what my business is doing today, or here's what it did tomorrow. What will it do tomorrow, the next day? Let's do predictive analytics. Let's predict what's the best delivery for tomorrow. So you go from reactive to being proactive to really taking a look into the future with these technologies. So that's probably one. And probably second is, and this is a very dynamic topic of discussion right now, really what it's called crypto or Bitcoin, the blockchain, excuse me, technology. So that whole transaction now, if you can apply the blockchain to it, can you do smart contracts between a vendor, a distributor, and their customer with gas items, for example? Can you now take payments more efficiently and at a lower transaction cost? And so everyone is looking to say, how do we get that transaction cost down? How do we do it seamlessly? And so I think the whole idea of electronic payments with newer crypto methods, as well as the service contract of the cylinder itself, are two areas I think that we're going to keep an eye on. These things always move slower than you think. I think Josh, you'd mentioned, or Dave even, it's going to take years for some of these newer technologies to find the way into the organization. And so what you do is you just have to really understand what they are, understand what the trend is, and plan accordingly.
Thanks, David. It's great to see some different responses coming in here. And Dave, is there anything we haven't discussed that you think is particularly exciting?
Yeah, so building on what David mentioned about the structured data sets, I think that really is the future with the power of software and machine learning and being able to, brute force sort through all the data and bring out insights. So I think it's the data sets, but specifically the thing that I'm most excited about is the power consumption of processors and wireless radios, which are kind of the same thing. We're seeing that significantly drop. And I think, power capacity, well, let me back up. I think to get a lot more structured data from the physical world, we have to have wireless sensors. Wireless sensors are limited by the amount of power that they use. Today, we have devices that can last 10 to 15 years. However, they're generally only sending 1 to 2 measurements a day, or they're only connecting 1 to 2 times per day. And so I think as power consumption continues to drop on these components, you'll start to get much higher fidelity data, and you'll start seeing a lot more and understanding what's actually happening. And then you can start getting into energy harvesting where you don't necessarily even need a battery, you need power consumption. And so then you can put out devices that will last for 20, 30 years, and they'll just continue to operate because you won't have to change the battery.